Hey guys, Blade Mango here. Well, I'm gonna make good on my promise to do something that I haven't done since the very beginnings of this channel. I'm going to go through an entire season of a show as it's coming out and talk to you guys about it. I haven't done this since Legend of Korra Season 2, and that was way back in the year 1 era of this channel. And this time, instead of Legend of Korra, I'm going to be talking about The Mandalorian, which had its season premiere drop today, and I've seen it twice, and I have thoughts about it, so I'm going to talk about it on this video. I never made a video about my concerns about Season 2 of The Mandalorian. Well, if I had to boil it down, it would be, one, I was worried they were going to start doing the member berries thing, where it would just be a bombardment of nostalgic iconography and just things that you've seen. If you've seen the South Park episode with the member berries, you know what I'm talking about. It's the shit where Disney and Star Wars go, oh, remember this thing? Remember that thing? Remember this thing from this movie? Remember this thing from that TV show? Remember this? Remember that? And it just overwhelms your senses with nostalgic Easter eggs and just distracts from the plot, and two, stunts the TV show from bringing its own iconography into the Star Wars canon. Two, I was worried that it would basically become the Baby Yoda show this season, because Baby Yoda was far and away the breakout star character from the first season, and arguably the entire TV show, even now. And Disney and Star Wars we're going to like just stuff these next few episodes with Baby Yoda scenes and reaction shots of his cute little face. And third, I'd heard a lot of behind-the-scenes drama regarding Season 2, so I was a little worried that the stuff that I had heard was going to impact it. Now, none of this has been corroborated, none of this has been proven or anything like that, it's just rumors, but it never really went away, and we had a lot of details come out about it that obviously are still just rumors. But knowing Disney, knowing Star Wars, knowing how actors have egos, it's plausible to believe some of the stuff that I've heard. So, this first episode, how is it? I'll be honest, I've seen it twice now, and the first time I watched it, like, I got up at 4 in the morning to watch this thing, so maybe that's my own fault for not being in the right mood to watch it, but I did anyway. And I didn't really like it. I was really disappointed with it, and I went on Twitter and I called it the worst episode in the entire series, which then I went back and a couple hours later and I watched it again a second time, and I liked it a lot more the second time around. So I deleted that tweet. I got rid of it. I had to tell friends, like, hey, I don't dislike it anymore. I like it now. I think it's good. Is it one of the best Mandalorian episodes? No, it's not. I would put this in the same league as maybe the... if I had to compare this one to a Season 1 episode, it would probably rank somewhere in the middle ground. Like it's good. It's solid, but it's not great. It's not one of the high tier Mandalorian episodes. I don't even know if I'd go so far as to say that it's really good. I'd say it's good. One of the red flags that was kind of raised for me when I first went onto Disney Plus to watch this was that I saw the length. And one of the reasons I got into the Season 1 episode so much is because of how efficient they were. Most of them were very tightly paced, and, not including the recaps and the end credits, they very rarely ever crossed, say, the 40-minute mark, and that made for some just episodes, like I said earlier, lean and mean. They got in, did what they needed to do, and got out. Didn't waste my time, and I was grateful for that. A lot of people complained about the length, about how they were too short, and I disagreed. I thought they were just perfectly paced. I thought the short length did wonders for making you want more without outstaying its welcome. So it made my eyebrows raise a little bit when I saw that this episode was going to be 54 minutes long. And keep in mind, that's longer than the first season's finale. So I was a little worried about the length being a problem, and it kind of is, because there are a few moments that I think could have been cut out, like Amy Sedaris's appearance this time. I wasn't all that crazy about it. Maybe getting rid of Cobb Vance's flashback and then just putting something else that's set in the present day to show that he's a really cool dude and he protects this town. Maybe some of the Tusken Raider stuff could have gone by the wayside. I don't think it really needed to be this damn long, but I understand why they wrote this episode the way they did. You have to set some stuff up, and it pays off in the end when you see how they're done. This episode utilizes a lot of Chekhov's gun, where if you show the gun, it's going to get used at some point. And that's what this episode does a lot. They show you things like, oh, here's this character dropping this bit of explosives, and this other character going, oh, what are you doing? This stuff is volatile. It's sensitive. Don't fuck with it. Well, it's like, well, surprise, surprise. It's used in the finale. There's a part in the beginning where it shows that Mando is in this town with Baby Yoda, and there's like these red-eyed creatures wandering around. And surprise, surprise, when he dispatches like the person fucking with him in that town, the creatures come out and kill the guy. So it has a lot of things that are set up in the beginning, and they all have a payoff towards the end. Which, I get it, but I still don't think it needed to be 54 minutes long. And I get it, it's not 54 minutes long because you cut out the end credits, you cut out the recap. It's maybe like 45, 48, which even so, for a story like this, I still think it's too long, because for a thing that's a season premiere, it played out a lot like one of the isolated adventure episodes that was in the middle of the first season, instead of being something vital to the main story. And I would compare this episode, I'd say it's a blend of the Gunslinger episode from the first season, which I still think is my least favorite in the entire series, and the second episode where Mando has to go after the big creature with Baby Yoda, and that's when Baby Yoda's force powers are first shown. It's a very standard Mandalorian plot where it takes a lot of inspiration, like a lot of Mandalorian stuff. It takes a lot of inspiration from Western genre tropes, all that stuff where, you know, the rogue comes into town. There's a lawman. He wants something from the lawman. The lawman wants something from him. They work together, and they each get what they want in the end. It's a very standard story where it's the iconography of the whole Tatooine stuff with the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas and just the droids, just a lot of shit mixed with that story of I need to go get this thing in order to, or I need to get this thing or do this thing in order to pay off this other person that has something I need or something I want. But for me, the most shocking thing was that Jon Favreau wrote and directed this episode. And I think his sharp writing and storytelling is what made the first season shine. And I didn't really get that same vibe here. Like, it's competently put together, but my big complaint is that I felt like this episode, as decent as it was and as enjoyable as it was the second time around, I felt like a lot of it was kind of just on autopilot. Like, it doesn't really bring anything fresh or exciting to the table. And that's normally fine for Mandalorian, but I feel like they kind of use that credit up in the first season, where there's a lot of episodes like this. So I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more, just a little bit more. But it's not awful, but it's not, it doesn't really have that wow factor either. And I felt like the times that it does try to bring some kind of personality to it, where it tries to have humor, it just kind of falls flat, which again is a real shock because of Jon Favreau writing it, and his dialogue is usually really sharp for this series, but there's just something about it that was lacking. And I really liked, like, for example, I really liked Amy Sedaris in the first season, but the dialogue for her in this episode was just kind of not that great. Like, I felt like they tried way too hard this time, making her a quippy comic character, and it comes across as desperate, where they're just trying to mine laughs, where it doesn't really need to be there. Like, I get that her character is this snarky junk rat, but it's like, you didn't need to make her so snarky to the point of coming across as kind of a bitch. But I think the one character they did really well is Timothy Olyphant, who plays Cobb Vanth, who is the marshal of the town that Mando has to go to. And the thing that surprised me about his character is that I totally predicted that he was going to turn out to be like a wannabe bounty hunter, like a coward, or somebody that stabs Mando in the back at the end. Because I'd heard that Timothy Olyphant specifically was going to play a character that was in possession of Boba Fett's armor, which he is. And when I heard that, I went, okay, he's going to probably be a wannabe gunslinger. He's going to be like the guy in the gunslinger episode from first season, where he acts cool, he acts tough, but he's really just some coward. The good comparison is that there is a side quest in Ghost of Tsushima where Jin encounters a guy who's going around proclaiming himself to be a samurai. But when Jin finally catches up to him and the guy challenges him to a duel, the guy backs out at the last minute after all like the usual buildup that's in that game towards the duel. And he goes like, I don't want to fight. I'll give up the armor. Shit. I thought that's what it was going to be like for this guy. But when he actually stares down Mando in the bar and gets ready to actually like fight him, I thought, okay, maybe he's not a coward. And then when they show that flashback of him, getting the Boba Fett armor and coming back to protect the townspeople and shoot these like bandits that have invaded it, I'm like, okay, this guy is actually a decent man. He's actually an honorable lawman that genuinely wants to protect the people in this town. I'm glad they didn't go with what I predicted, because that would have just been lame. Because after that terrible Dragon's Dogma anime, I'm sick to death of these TV shows that all end with, oh, look at that, humanity is the worst. And it's like, I'm so sick of it, and I was hoping the Marshal wouldn't go down that route, but it didn't, and I'm glad it didn't. I'm still blown away by the special effects in this show as well. Like, this show has been one of the very best, and most seamless merges of practical effects and CGI I've ever seen. I know how the trick is done. And when I found out that a lot of it was virtual sets created in Unreal Engine, I was blown away. I was like, holy shit, this looks amazing. It all looks like they're on an actual set. And even though now I know how the trick is done, the illusion hasn't broken in my eyes. Like, I was looking at it while I was watching it the second time. I was studying it, trying to see the seams, and I just couldn't. It all looked so real, and I was just blown away all over again. I thought the dragon in this looked amazing. The sand dragon, it reminded me a lot of the 2014 Godzilla, which I think has some of the best special effects I've ever seen. I love that the practical effects are still there. I love the puppetry on Baby Yoda still. No, they don't go overboard with Baby Yoda, which is one of the things I was really shocked by. Baby Yoda is in it just the right amount. He's in it where he gets some cute moments, and that's it. They don't shove Baby Yoda in your face to the point where you get sick of him and his cute little face. One part that they do kind of go a little overboard on is the member berries aspect, where, of course, we have to go back to Tatooine, which it's like, okay, we have to have the Tusken Raiders, okay, we gotta have the Jawas, okay, we gotta have Boba Fett. Look, I'll be honest, I don't care that Boba Fett is in this show. Like when they teased his appearance in again, I keep going back to the Gunslinger episode in the first season, but they teased him at the end of the Gunslinger episode, and I just went, so what? Like, really, so what? Who cares? I don't care. I don't care that Boba Fett is going to be in the show. I know there are a lot of people that are excited about his appearance. To me, Boba Fett is just some guy who's a bounty hunter. That's it. I didn't go, oh, it's the armor when I saw that Cobb was wearing it. I just went, oh, look, it's Boba Fett's armor. So what? Okay. And they show, I'm pretty sure it's Boba Fett at the end. It's the same actor who played Jango Fett in the prequels. It's the same guy who does the voice for all the clone troopers and who plays them in Revenge of the Sith. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't really care that Boba Fett, I don't care about the lore where it's like, oh, he crawled out of the Sarlacc pit and survived. Okay, I don't care. That to me is not interesting. I'm not interested in these characters that they're dredging up from the past movies, and especially somebody that's like so inconsequential and like a nothing burger of a character like Boba Fett. The only reason Boba Fett is memorable is because of the armor and the helmet. That's it. That's the only reason people remember him 30 years later, over 30 years later. That's it. But as a character, he sucks. Like, maybe the actor will give him some kind of gravitas in his appearance. Maybe. He's a good actor. I like the way he voices the clone troopers. I like his narration in Battlefront 2. Not the AA one, the old campaign in Battlefront 2. I think his voice has a lot of gravitas to it. So if they were to bring back Boba Fett in an intelligent way where he would actually matter into the plot and end up being some kind of key figure in it and give him some interesting development with the actor doing his thing as Boba Fett, I think that could be good. I think that could be cool. But the mere idea of Boba Fett being in this new season just doesn't really get my dick hard or anything like that. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Until they can prove that he is a great character, I don't give a shit about Boba Fett. So yeah, those are really my thoughts on the first episode of season 2. It is good. It's a solid, predictable Mandalorian episode. It's like comfort food. It really is. It doesn't have any of the personality or the big wow factor that the best season 1 episodes have, but it is a good, solid episode. It's strange that they began this season with one of these isolated adventure episodes. It's really strange, but I was kind of hoping for something a little more that would progress the plot, but maybe we'll get something like that later on. But yeah, that's it for me as far as Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, Chapter 9, The Marshal. It's a long fucking title. Alrighty, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.